France and Turkey. A Economic Council chairman faces impeachment tussle from lawmakers. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission uncovers 162 billion naira cryptocurrency fraud involving banks and fintechs. On the foreign scene, Japanese Prime Minister dissolves parliament ahead of snap election. And in sports, Super Eagles shine in major tournament statistics at just concluded Africa Cup of Nations. We have details of these and other stories coming up in a moment. I am NYAKNNO, Albert. And now the news in full, beginning from the presidency. President Bola Tinubu has approved the posting of 4 ambassador designates out of the 68 confirmed by the Senate last December. An official statement issued by the presidential spokesperson Bayo Nanuga yesterday indicates that the president confirmed the postings of Ambassador Ayodele Oke as the ambassador designate to France and retired Colonel Kayode Are as the ambassador designate to the United States of America. The statement further revealed that the president posted Ambassador Amin Dahatu, former Nigeria's ambassador to South Korea, as the High Commissioner designate to the United Kingdom, while Usman Suleiman, a former governor of Kebbi State, is to serve as the ambassador designate to Turkey, where the president is scheduled to begin a state visit next week. In a memo to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, President Tinubu called on the ministry to inform the governments of the 4 countries about the ambassador designates in accordance with diplomatic procedures. Back home, following allegations of gross misconduct and financial misappropriation recently, the Kano Local Government Legislative Council has commenced impeachment proceedings against the chairman of the council, Right Honorable Otobo Essien. Leader of the 8th Legislative Council, Honorable Xavier Ebong, confirmed the latest developments to newsmen after a legislative session held on the 20th of January 2026, where the lawmakers further accused the chairman of traveling to the police headquarters in Abuja in an attempt to influence council members, with 10 of the 12 councillors signing an impeachment notice to indicate a substantial legislative support for the action. In a unanimous motion read by Honorable Obong Joseph, representing Ukbom Ward 5, the lawmakers resolved to initiate impeachment proceedings, citing the need to protect transparency that will enable proper management of council affairs as part of its raised concerns over governance and financial accountability, with the lawmakers accusing the chairman of alleged leadership failures, gross misconduct, misappropriation of public funds, and neglect of official duties. In a letter dated 20th January 2026, inducting in line with sections 44 subsections 1 to 3 and sections 28 paragraph D of the Akwa Ibom State Local Government Administration Law 2017 as amended, the councillors outlined specific allegations against the chairman, which included the refusal to release funds for constituency projects captured in 2025 budget, failure to submit statements of income and expenditure, and the alleged utilization of council funds beyond approved allocations. It will be recalled that in May 2025, following a prolonged crisis in the council, pressure mounted on Governor Moina, the state governor, to declare a state of emergency in the local government area over similar allegations of financial misconduct against the chairman. Then public concern escalated after a petition was presented to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly by 12 councillors accusing the chairman of unauthorized withdrawals from council accounts, misappropriation of funds, and abuse of office. On the national scene, the National Judicial Council (NJC) has recommended 14 lawyers to President Bola Tinubu for appointment as judges of the Federal High Court. The legal body said it took the decision at its 110th meeting held on the 13th and 14th of January 2026. According to the council, which is headed by the Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Kudirat Kekerekom, the lawyers were the successful candidates for the High Court bench. Meanwhile, those recommended for the appointment are Suleiman Hassan, Muhammad Saidu, Iboko Kochita, Onwebu Angela, among others. Still in the news, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has revealed that a new generation commercial bank, 6 fintech companies, and several microfinance banks have been involved in a large-scale financial fraud scheme involving cryptocurrency transactions worth 162 billion naira. EFCC accused the unnamed financial institutions of failing to carry out adequate customer due diligence during a press briefing at its Abuja headquarters yesterday. The negligence, the Commission said, enabled fraudsters to launder illicit funds through the financial system, a delay that allowed criminals to convert proceeds of fraud into digital assets and transfer them to undisclosed destinations. EFCC's Director of Public Affairs, Wilson Wojaren, noted that the institutions allowed suspicious transactions to pass through their platforms during the 2024-2025 financial year, a clear violation of established Know Your Customer (KYC) and anti-money laundering regulations. Wojaren also expressed concern that cryptocurrency transactions amounting to 162 billion naira passed through a new generation bank without any form of due diligence, adding that the Commission uncovered a case where a single individual operated 960 accounts within one bank, or allegedly used for fraudulent activities. Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has confirmed the resolution of 9,771 out of 10,704 bank customers' complaints in the first half of the year 2025. CBN stated this in its latest financial stability report, noting that the number of complaints received in the first half of 2025 grew by 143.3% year-on-year from 4,398 complaints in the first half of 2024. According to the Apex Bank, the increase was due to several factors, including greater public awareness of consumer rights, regulatory emphasis on complaint reporting, and enhanced customer confidence in banks' complaints resolution and redress framework. A breakdown of the complaints revealed that 53.45% and 46.55% were lodged against commercial mortgage-backed securities and other financial institutions, respectively, and in terms of categorization, electronic and card-related complaints accounted for 51.50%, fraud 39.27%, and account management, excess charges, and others accounted for the balance. You're listening to Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. We'll bring you more reports after the break. Do stay with us.
Stay up to date with all the latest in news.
Thank you for staying tuned to Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. And now to the rest of the news. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has dissolved parliament earlier today ahead of the snap election scheduled for the 8th of February 2026, counting on her cabinet's high poll numbers to steer her otherwise unpopular ruling party to victory. The country's first female Prime Minister declared her intentions earlier, seeking public backing for measures to safeguard households from rising living costs and increased spending on defense. The Speaker of Parliament read out a letter officially dissolving the lower house. The ruling coalition of Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party and the Japan Innovation Party has only a slim majority in the powerful lower chamber. Takaichi is hoping that the support for her cabinet will help deliver her a stronger mandate, even though the party, the LDP itself, is battling low approval ratings and a string of scandals. And still on the foreign scene, the United States has frowned at Nigeria's ability to protect Christian communities following the abduction of 177 worshippers in Kaduna State, as bandits were sighted moving freely through forest corridors with their captives days after storming churches without resistance. On Sunday, gunmen attacked 3 churches in Kamin Wali community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State and whisked away more than 177 worshippers, with 11 managing to escape, while 166 are still in captivity. The United States warning came as a high-level delegation of the officials arrived in Nigeria yesterday on a week-long diplomatic tour aimed at reviewing counter-terrorism efforts and the protection of vulnerable religious groups across Africa, in the Middle East and Europe. The meeting is part of the United States-Nigeria Joint Working Group and was co-chaired by the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu and the U.S. Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs, Alison Hooker. In sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles have been credited with several major statistics at the recently concluded 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, as they got officially announced as the highest scoring team with 14 goals. Atalanta winger Ademola Lookman was also named best playmaker of the tournament with 4 assists. The Super Eagles also enjoyed the highest average ball possession by 66% in Morocco. They were also the team with the most consecutive wins, 5 wins. Nigeria finished the competition in 3rd position behind the host Morocco and the winners Senegal. That's global news on Memories 96.5 FM. But before we go, let's take a recap of the top stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved the posting of 4 ambassador designates out of the 68 confirmed by the Senate last December. We also brought you a report that following allegations of gross misconduct and financial misappropriation recently, the NYAKNNO Local Government Legislative Council has commenced impeachment proceedings against the chairman of the council, Right Honorable Otobon Isien. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has revealed that a new generation commercial bank, 6 fintech companies, and several microfinance banks have been involved in a large-scale financial fraud involving cryptocurrency transactions worth 162 billion naira. On the foreign scene, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has dissolved parliament ahead of the snap election scheduled for the 8th of February 2026, counting her cabinet's high poll numbers to steer her otherwise unpopular ruling party to victory. And in sport, you heard that Nigeria's Super Eagles have been credited with several major statistics at the recently concluded 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, as they got officially announced as the highest scoring team with 14 goals. The news this afternoon was edited by Mary Akpan and assisted by the production team. For views regarding our news or coverage of your newsworthy events, you can reach us on email newsroom@memoriesmediang.com or call our newsroom hotline on 0909 000 0581. You can also follow us on Facebook at Memories 965 FM and listen to us from anywhere in the world on Radio Garden at Memories 96.5 FM. Log on to our website at www.memoriesmediang.com. And now let's take you down memory lane. January 23 in African history marks significant event like the start of the 1915 Chilemboy Rebellion in Nyasaland, Malawi against colonialism. That's the news. Thank you so much for listening. I am NYAKNNO Albert. Good afternoon.